Hello, everybody. Finally, we're live. By the way, we're not late. This is just Middle Eastern time. You know?
Yeah.
It's just
Excuse us, everyone. We in Middle East are a little bit, always,
Exactly.
1 minute later.
So, I forgot, I asked you, how do you want me to call you when we talk
KG.
online? But
You can call
just
me
KG.
Kurdish girl or whatever. It's okay.
Okay. So, do you want to tell some about yourself before we dive in and explain it? Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm a Kurdish activist. I have been for a long time. I've studied international relations. I've studied politics. I dedicated my activities to my community a long time ago to be aware of each different Kurdish area of the region. Also, at the same time, I would look at the Israel and how Israel is doing because I have a lot of friends there. So I was interested usually only in Israel politics and U.S. and in relation with Kurds, basically. That was vast majority of my time.
And what are your conclusions on that?
I think U.S. and Israel have been good allies of the Kurds. There has also been, times that U.S. and Kurds, let's say, had a rocky time, but it was never on the Kurdish side. It was usually the foreign policies of America.
Yeah, well, we can feel that.
Yeah, it's okay. We understand that. We understand that there's different policies sometimes. We understand that as a people. We're very understanding.
Yeah, and I also saw that, I think, I didn't see it from Trump directly, but there are rumors that Trump said that maybe it wouldn't, that ceasefire wouldn't be that long after all, or something like that. Did you hear anything?
I saw that, and actually it kind of made me happy. I don't know, like I should be happy or sad about it, but it kind of made me, maybe we have more hope, in the upcoming days or months, let's say, or years. We never know in Middle East, but basically it's hope. It's another hope for the people to get free from these regimes. So yeah.
So, okay, so somebody is asking, are you an Iranian Kurd? So what's a little bit of background?
So half of my family left Iran in some of them in 1970s, some of them in 1980s, and some of them are still there. But vast majority of my family left because the situation was unbearable, and they had to flee for their life. So half of my family, yes, not other half. So because we Kurdish are one community, so it's very normal to marry each other from different regions that today we call them Iran, Iraq, Syria, Turkey. But back in the days, we didn't have that mentality because we were one community before the borders.
You know something? When I was little, we have a lot of inner jokes about like Jews that come from different places, and one of them was Kurdish Jews. And when you meet Kurdish Jews from Kurdistan, they would say, "Yeah, my family's from Kurdistan." And for when I was little, I would open up a map and I just wouldn't understand, where is this? What is Kurdistan? I was like, what?
Yeah.
This and Bukhara, because that's the other community. Bukhara.
Yes, because Kurdistan was divided into 4 parts. When the Jews left Kurdistan, they left during a time where Kurdistan was still a name. For them, it meant everything. So when they left, it was late 1800, early 1900, and during that time, they understood what Kurdistan is. So when today world, after 100 years of occupation, most of the people don't understand why people call themselves Kurdistan and Kurdistanians or Kurdish. But it's a deep root identity. You can see the ancient Greeks also mentioning it. Go ahead.
I wanted to ask, what does it mean to be Kurdish to you? And by the way, guys, it's going to be fun to compare that, because I had a conversation with a Turkish girl a couple of weeks ago, and I asked her the same thing. So,
For me, being Kurdish means a lot of things.
okay.
Like each of the person in this world have a community or sense of community to feel belong. In our identity, we are connected to our lands. Like even if you look at our last names, all of our last name is an area name. It's represent the area of Kurdistan that we come from, and that the people who are outside don't understand that, and it's also another way of understanding which person is coming from which tribe or which family. It's very nice. Also, the Kurdish identity for me is not only about my only land or my language or my ethnic background. It's much deeper than that. I've when I travel to outside and come back to the community, when I hear Kurdish, it's a whole different feeling. When you're outside, everybody's, for example, speaking German or English or any language, which all are beautiful. But when you come home, you feel home. You get it? Like if it's a feeling. It's not only it's bigger than words for me. And the reason I dedicated my life to this, because I felt that for my community who did not live in a free Kurdistan. When they would come to Kurdistan, which is the autonomous region, Erbil, they would tell me it was, I can't believe I heard Kurdish in the airport. Never happened in my life. Like it was a whole big deal for Kurds from Iran, for Kurds from Turkey or Syria back in the days. They felt something different among the community. They felt home. And that sense of home is a big deal for humans, like in general.
And okay, so what do you think about Salahadin?
He was not. So this is what people don't understand.
Was
Okay,
it was it Kurdish? Was it Kurdish like Stalin was Georgian?
yes, 100%. That okay. So that guy, that Salahadin.
You know, I asked that as a joke, by the way.
I know,
Nobody
I know.
asked that in the comments.
No, I will answer you honestly. Like most of the people that I know of, and I studied this at university, by the way. This
Yeah,
is the mentality of the Kurds who are free. They say he's not a Kurdish leader. He was
yeah.
Kurdish by origin. So I will give you an example of that. So, for example, there is a guy who's from Saudi Arabia, let's say, king of another country that is far away from his home. It doesn't make him Saudi king, it makes him someone else's king, right? So, or another one, Hakan Fidan, which is a foreign minister of Turkey, he's ethnically Kurdish, but he have killed more Kurds than anybody else. He's a Turkish foreign minister. He's not Kurdish. He serves
Yeah, now
Turkey.
Duan is Georgian, so
Yeah, exactly. So just because someone is ethnicity is something, it doesn't mean that they serve the community. And
exactly. And another good example is Chuck Schumer.
exactly, and there's a lot of like examples we can come up with right now, like in our heads, because we have so many online, for God's sake, who pretend to be this, to pretend to be that, and as if they speak for us, and they never do. And this is the problem. Um, I say being Kurdish is not just an ethnicity or identity; it's a responsibility. So, for example, when someone is Jewish or someone is Kurdish or someone is even American, it's a responsibility to say who you are, because you're serving a whole community. When you say, I am this, you need to feel, understand each different person. If you say a bad thing, maybe it will damage a whole community. So whenever I speak, I try my best to be responsible for my words, so I will not harm another Kurdish person in another area that maybe his neighborhood is not so safe as me.
By the way, Psychic is saying worth waiting for Rebecca and her new computer. Thank you so much. You guys, yes, please support this channel so I could have a new computer and have better streaming equipment for you all. Thank you so much. And Japster, Japster here has a question. Thank you for your support. Why did he do a ceasefire? I'm guessing Trump. By the way, what is your, you know what, before I say, like, why did he do a ceasefire? Let's talk about all the sides involved. Like, how do you see it? All the Iranian protesters most likely feel like they were stabbed in the back, and now all of them will be unalived.
No, I don't see it that way. That's kind of extreme to say that. Let's be honest. When we talk about regime change, it's not one-sided, and nobody can say it's one side only, right? And it's impossible. It's for me as a person who believes in freedom, who have fought for the freedom, to even complain about US or complain about Israel, because Israel had to do what it had to do, but the people have to do what they had to do. It's not one way. No, nobody should expect for another country to come and save you. You need to fight for yourself. And I'm speaking on the Kurds, the Arabs, the Baluch, and the Persians, and the Azeris, the Turkmens, the Gilaks, and the Caspians, and every single person who is living in that country was under a brutal regime. It's your responsibility to free yourself. It's if you don't move, how would people understand what you want if you don't make your voice heard? Some people in diaspora cannot speak for you, and this is the whole problem. People hear diaspora and they think this is the whole image. That's not the image. That's not even 0.00001%. That's the whole problem. People need to know that working with the minorities, and the minorities with the Persians, with the Turks, everybody wants together, they might be able to do something. As long as the whole diaspora narrative and the whole narrative about regime change is a Persian centralism, or is entitlement or self-entitlement, it will never happen. It's not gonna happen. I'm sorry. And it's sad, but it's true. And they know it, and everybody knows it.
Do you think it's more important to them than changing the regime?
Yes, I think they'd rather be under a regime than let minorities free themselves. That because I was told that previously by a lot of people.
And what do you think is the right move here when it comes to the minorities?
If the minorities get supported enough and they move to the streets, they can. The minorities can move streets because they are community. They are not self-centered. They're one community. Right. Community. So when they have a community, one whistle gets to another neighborhood, one by one, and it gets uprising. So when the minorities uprise, it's gonna inspire, and this is really truly I believe that it's gonna inspire everybody else to also uprise, because the sense of humans for freedom is very, very connected to other people. It doesn't matter what's your ethnicity. Once you feel freedom, you can never go back.
So I have another. Why do the minorities care about what the Persians think?
The minorities don't care about the Persian thing, but they know the betrayal that they get. So, for example, previously we had this, that there was a king who made a deal with the West, that he will not do this and that, and he did. He betrayed a single deal that he had with the West. And that's why he was, like the people got fed up and removed him. And then the second one came in, who was also Khomeini. Give me a second. So the Khomeini, which was the previous guy from Khomeini, came with supposedly, the demands of the people. And he also did the massacre of minorities. And the minorities remember Shah, remember the installment of Shah by the West. They remember all of that. They also remember how the Khomeini came in and how he was forced on them. minorities understand that. The people who don't understand that is the ones who go to voting, which we know who they are. I don't want to repeat it. So, because Kurds remember the brutality of Shah and Khomeini, when they see them on TV, and they know that superpowers can install someone. We all know that. And it happened before. And even if it's not tangible to today, 2025, people don't understand that. Why? Because they've seen it happen. So for you to, when you make it the whole, when a Kurdish person dies in Sanandaj or Kermanshah, and his identity is broadcasted in the West as an Iranian, just an Iranian guy got killed. You don't know the weakness of the regime. You cannot understand the weakness of the regime, because when you don't identify these factors, who they are so afraid of, the regime itself, you cannot know where is the weakness. So that's why people don't trust anybody right now, because they put in a guy whose name is Shah, who never been to Middle East, never seen a war, never. The guy also said that the reason I did not work one day in my life, it was because it was wait. He said that it was because I had to focus on politics. No, I studied politics and I had to work. A lot of people who are politicians today have worked, and we understand that the guy doesn't know anything, and we understand that. But they will come and understand, the people from inside, that the brutal Shah is going to be replaced by Khamenei. Like, you want them to not believe that? They will. They see him on Fox News. They see him on different channels, and he's talking about coming back, and people are like, "Oh my God, this guy is coming back. We're going home. We don't want anything." It's a scary thing for them, because it happened before, and they haven't forgotten it. The especially minorities have not forgotten any of these people. Neither Khomeini, Shah, they haven't forgotten these people. They remember that their families were killed and massacred and shot down in streets and on cranes. Unfortunately, when I say this, which is the truth, you can Google it. A lot of monarchists or the diaspora Iranians, they will go around, "Oh my God, IRGC agents, separatists." All of these talking points do not do anything on the ground.
Yeah. So can I give my perspective on that? Do you want it?
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead, of course.
So I'll tell you the truth. Okay. The Shah doesn't want to go back either. It's mutual. Doesn't really want to go back. Let's say it like that.
No, I figured that out already.
But what is happening is that they use him so that people from the West could come to Iran as technocrats, people with technical knowledge, to fix things in Iran. So they use that so that they could have like a team with of foreigners that would come and help out in certain things that they know don't work inside of Iran already.
I get it. But
so it's very obvious, right? That it's very much so that there would be things that need to be fixed will be fixed fast.
Listen,
and that's it.
When a Jewish person gets killed, which right now they're on a campaign on Jews and Kurds inside of Iran. You can look at it, the campaigns that are being against these minorities again.
By the way, Iranians that are being killed, they are arresting Jews now.
Yes.
So what the Iranian regime does, it says like they're arresting Iranians, but it's not Iranians. They are arresting Kurds and Jews.
It's not only Iranians saying that. This is the problem. The diaspora Iranians are also calling them Iranians. So see why the Kurds have a problem with that name, and a lot of people have that problem. You cannot just call us Iranians, because when you do that, you remove the identity of these people and why they are being killed. Because the reason a Kurdish person is getting killed is not because he's just an Iranian. No, he's being killed because he's Kurdish. And a Jewish person, same way. He's being persecuted and killed because he's Jewish. It's not because he's just an Iranian. Yeah, right. No, he's not. He's not just an Iranian. He's a Jewish person.
By the way, if there are any IRGC people watching this stream, I can guarantee you that those who actually work with the Mossad are 100% Persian. Like, they wouldn't risk working with minorities.
Thank you for clarifying that.
No, it's true. They choose, especially people who know that what they're doing.
Yeah.
They're chosen
Unfortunately,
very
there are now,
carefully.
I heard like about 130 something earlier that
Yeah,
they captured.
700 they captured. By the way, the Iraqi government and the Turkish regime,
Iran.
like a government, they're both cooperating with Iran.
Oh, of course they are. Of course they are.
Was trying to make stories on Kurds.
And the Turks and the Iraqis, Iraqi Arabs, they will do anything to dehumanize the Kurdish population or to put them under danger or to justify their killing. Whether it be calling them Mossad agents or back in the days they called us demons. So back in the days, because we didn't have Mossad, so they called us demons. Now they changed it to Mossad. So
by the way, behind the scenes, I know that there are a lot of Kurdish people. This is me saying, okay, nothing to do with KG. Okay. A lot of Kurdish people tried to get in contact with Mossad and they didn't go back to them exactly because of that.
Yeah, because there is a lot of things when it comes to risking the Kurdish life, and everybody knows that. Nobody wants to lose an area and people who is so loving to the free world. Nobody wants to. Why would someone want to jeopardize a whole region that is loving to become a very prosperous region? People want these type of people to always be there. Who doesn't want us to be here are the Turks, unfortunately, and the Iranian regime and Iraq, and sometimes Syria.
So, did you talk with so here's another thing behind the scenes. It's very hard to get Iranians to talk with each other, not just Kurds and Persians, also Persians and Persians.
I know.
And by the way, I got to talk to, I can tell you, a lot of people who are pro-Shah, that are Iranian, they're Persian, like who grew up in Iran. And I argued with them on behalf of the Kurds. And after you argue with them, they agree, they understand the Kurdish position, right? They understand that need. So it is possible.
There
and
is
those who are Shah supporters, right? They also understand that it's only temporary, and it's not real, and
this is the thing. We understand that, and we know that we're gonna be used. So the Kurds know that with Shah supporters, we know.
Right.
Whenever it comes to the Kurds, it's just for a temporary solution to use us until they get to their goal and they slaughter us. We know that.
No, they would not slaughter you.
But Rebecca, it happened before.
I know, but it can't happen
nobody
now.
can guarantee, nobody can convince a Kurdish person that they're gonna be a Persian leader who be gonna help him to be installed, and then the next day he will not massacre the Kurds. Listen, you have to understand, the Kurds will always be for a Shah or for any regime. They will always be, even if we help them, they're gonna always think, oh, maybe they will help someone else. Like, you get it? Maybe they will remove me and they bring someone else. So even if
I generously suggested that the Kurds should take over Persia, and you guys disagreed with me.
You should call it what?
I said that the Kurds should just take over Iran, and that's it.
So
and then you said we don't want to take over Iran.
Yeah, of course. Listen, and just like Jews do not have the mentality to take over Lebanon and Jordan and Syria to rule over them, The Kurds doesn't have that mentality too, and maybe it's our weakness. Maybe it's the Jewish Kurdish weakness. I don't know. Maybe it's our strength. I don't know. But the Kurds have a mentality. They should only roll over themselves and over their own community. And because we suffered a lot from our enemies controlling us and rolling over us, we believe if we rule over another community, maybe they will not be happy with us, or maybe they will not be as happy as we were not happy. We're scared. It's not because we don't want to protect them. We do. We always do. If you look at the Syria war, if you look at the Iraqi civil war, if you look at when the Persian regime, the Zinjan Azadi happened, the Kurds have opened their doors for all of the people from Iran, from Syria, from Iraq. We always hosted them and gave them asylums and a safety and protection. And we go beyond and we donate money to them. And we don't have a problem when it comes to humanity. We will always be there for people. But to give our identity to them, it's just bad. It's just like we think it's like colonialism or something. Like we have like a scary feeling about this stuff, because it happened to us. Why would we want something similar to them? Well, for them, and it's just not like I can guarantee them that they're gonna have a individual freedom and free speech and all of that. But maybe they will still not be happy. I don't know.
Well, so here's the thing. In a democracy, right, you would have some Kurds in the parliament, some Persians, some whatever, or kind of represent, or you can have republic, or you can have federation. You can have a lot of things. And honestly speaking, I don't know what could be much worse than what you already have.
So we do have that, and we have experienced that in a parliament where there is a Kurd, there is an Arab, and
no, not like Lebanon. This is a mistake.
No. We do have, for example, do you have a KRG, right? KRG has its own parliament, which oversees the local laws. It oversees the Kurdish needs. It oversees the regional.
Clergy are traitors. What are you talking about?
What?
Clergy?
No, KRG.
KRG.
Kurdistan Regional Government.
Yeah.
Yeah, KRG has like a parliament, and they have 111 seats, and in these 111 seats, people choose their representatives, and they choose local laws based on them, and everybody who's in the region is Kurdish, and they speak Kurdish. There are Arabs also who immigrated to the Kurdish areas who also.
What is it in Iran? Are you talking about Kurdistan? I'm talking about Iran. Let's talk about Iran now.
I was giving you an example. What could work for Iran without
100%.
So I was talking about a system that could work for Iran. For example, a federal system where where your revenue is shared with the central government.
Do you think it's a problem to make it happen?
The Persians do not agree.
Who asking them?
So this
seriously. Like honestly speaking, who is asking them?
No, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about, this is the thing, when we want to create a coalition between minorities and the majority on all of that.
Okay, but the Persians are the only ones that are not armed, right?
Yes, but they're the only one.
Their opinion doesn't matter, sweetheart. No,
give me a second.
Sorry. But yeah. Yeah, we're alone. No, KG, come back. Anyway, you guys, I'm just, I'm sorry. I'm teasing. I'm being rude. But it's like there are so many excuses when you talk to Persian Kurds and everybody. If you push the button strong enough, they all manage to agree. even like the Shah supporters, not Shah supporters. I have this experience
Oh
already.
no. So Rebecca, you actually did that as a very good thing. The minorities have the opposition, which is armed, but the Persians don't. But here is a
Yeah.
problem. Everybody
Mm.
is listening to the Persians in the media, and even
No,
in the
here you can talk to me. You're a
no,
Kurd.
I mean, I'm not talking. I'm not talking about you only. I'm talking about vast majority of the people. Until like last week, they did not even know that how many people live in Iran. They didn't even know that Kurds exist, or Arabs exist, or Baluch exist. Some people don't even know that Baluch are a people until today. For God's sake, don't tell me that the people know from outside of the Middle East, or even no, not even that outside of Iran that anybody understands Iranian dynamics. Nobody does. Because look
Mhm.
at this. The reason I know this is because I have a family from there. Because I'm Kurdish, I have a community there. But vast majority of the people,
Why do I know it?
because they became um, the minorities became to a point that nobody could ignore it. When things hit the reality, everybody understands that the minorities are the key. Nobody
Yeah.
else. Yeah, so but nobody's working with the minority. That's the problem.
Nobody is working with a minority. What I'm talking here? Where?
No,
So
you're
the
talking
minor.
to me.
Yeah, because you're in the greatest risk. We don't want the government to go against you. It's Turkey
I
and
know,
Iran, and that's not the regime in Iran and
I
Turkey.
know,
That's not small thing.
but
And
people could,
Iraq.
but there is something that is called coordination, and in these 3 years, past 3 years, people coordinated with some diaspora people, not anything
Yeah.
real. So that's why we have this problem with the ceasefire.
But I can also tell you that I try to contact Kurds, and Kurds are really hard to contact. They
No, they're not.
avoid it. They are. They avoid it.
They're not hard to connect with. they
Mm.
they know what they can lose, and if someone doesn't have real options, they will not talk to them.
So they don't talk to us for 2, 3 years. Until now, they didn't talk to us
They did
properly.
a lot of Kurds spoke a lot of there was a girl, her father is actually a leader, she lives in Canada, she was one of the biggest voice that was shut down by the monarchists. There is another girl that I know. She lives in Germany. Her name is Shilanpour. She was dehumanized by the Persians online. And if you look at her page, it's all Kurdish people supporting her. Nobody else is supporting her or even messaging her. There are people who are actually leaders who are speaking in the support of Israel, who are leaders of the opposition. Not one single person from US or Israel or even like Europe have contacted these people. And don't tell me that they're hard to contact. They're very easy to contact.
Depends. Depends. Like I can tell, like that. For us, it's been a bit hard
The
to try.
to trust someone, it has to go
No,
through a lot of
no,
trust.
no. To have like a. I feel like I like, honestly speaking, it wasn't like when somebody in our like groups, like somebody contacted a Kurd, it's like, oh, you found a Kurd, amazing, let's talk to them. Until now,
Actually, I've been on all of these panels like for over like 4 years. Whenever
well,
they
yeah,
knew that I was Kurd, I was removed and blocked, and vast majority of the time I'm blocked and removed because I'm
where,
Kurdish. And name it, all the platforms.
what platforms?
I'm talking about social media in general, not talking about specific platform. For example, let's say we have a social media, we are all talking about Iran situation. Whenever you say that I'm Kurdish and you talk about the solution, they immediately they remove you, block you, and call you an agent or whatever. This happened to me and to my people. No, not to me only. I have a
But
friend who's a
it's
Texan.
happened in the 3, 4 last years. Until Trump came, and like until Elon Musk bought X, they would remove Israelis as well. They deleted Israelis all the time.
No. I'm not talking about that. I'm not talking about that. I'm
Yeah,
talking
yeah.
about the actual people that you the other day mentioned their names. while thousands of
Yeah,
people
yeah,
were
yeah.
listening. Okay, thousands of people were listening, and guess what happened? There was a missile by Iranian regime on a Kurdish family that killed a baby, 11-month-old, and called an Mossad agent. And these people were laughing. That you send me a list. These people were laughing when I said that. They were laughing, and this is recorded, still
And
here.
they are not regime supporters?
No, they are Shah supporters.
And they were laughing at that?
They were laughing at that because for them to kill a Kurd is more important than changing a regime. Unfortunately,
So
that's the truth.
they are not really like, so okay, so
People
let's
from
say,
like I'm always saying, people from inside totally different from the people outside. Outside is a self-entitlement Persian Empire mentality. People from inside, I can name 1 and 2 people that I've met in my life who maybe are not as extreme as the people in diaspora. When I say extreme, I'm talking about ideologically. I'm not talking about. I don't know if they had power, what they would do, but because they're living in some countries that they're gonna be held accountable, so probably they're not doing the same thing that they did back in the days, or their parents did. Let's be more specific.
anyway, yeah, can I be honest with you?
Yeah, go
Do
ahead.
you know, in 1948,
Yeah,
do
go
you
ahead.
know what the situation between the Jews was like when we established the country?
Yes, I know.
Do
I
you know,
know
like, how?
I know the history of the Jews, the Israel establishment. I know about Lehi. I know about like all of these like details that back in the days were happening. How many Jews came from where, and what did they do? How they smuggled the weapons, and I know about
No,
that.
no, but did you hear about Altalena?
Tell me, what is Telena?
Altalena was a ship full of ammunition and
Oh
people
yeah.
that was shot down because it was part of the not main branch of the government. And the government that was established in Israel, right? You have a good segment of the population that was really treated badly, badly by the main branch. And until this day, we're fighting against these people and the way they grabbed power. But at every point, right, we say, like, we decided to, like, the other side, right, said we ignored the fact that they kill hundreds of our people because we understood that if we start fighting with each other, we're not going to have a country, and that's way worse. And when I say these people were willing to kill it, one side was a lot more willing to kill the other side until eventually the other side outgrew them and became the majority. It's something is not talked a lot about.
See why?
It's not talked a
But
lot
that's
about.
normal. That's Community normal, Rebecca. That's totally different when you're talking about two different cultures who stolen from Kurds, who actually until today enjoy their stolen resources from these people and make them uneducated for a reason. It's totally different. You're talking about a community between community. Maybe when we had a civil war, the Kurds had a civil war. It's normal for a community to go through a civil war to create a country. But you know what is not what you're talking about, a whole different thing. You're talking about a colonial power that have subjugated and oppressed a lot of people in the name of different things. It's totally two different subjects for the Persians and the Kurds and the Baluch and Ahwaz and Turks and everybody in that country to trust each other again. They need people who are actually willing to talk to each other and understand each other without dehumanizing each other. But guess what? I tried that and it was dehumanized. So I'm not going to try that again.
No, that's wrong. You have to try it again. What other option do you
I
have?
can't, because you know what they call my people right now? These people I tried with them, they have They have narratives on my people, how demons we are, how this non-humans we are, and how we are just like mountain goats, or they call us gypsies, or Rebecca, you can talk to a human when they act like one.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let's go back to the issue at hand. You don't have a choice.
Actually, the Kurds and Baluch and Arabs do.
They do, and you hold the arms. You have the. But this is why I said, who cares what the Persians thinks if they don't have weapons and you guys do? It's your rule.
But this is the problem. The Kurds gonna do work, Arabs gonna do the work, and Baluch gonna do the work, and the Persians eat the victory. No, that's why.
No.
This is failing.
So why would they get the victory? You said you are the ones that giving them the victory.
Because when it comes to minorities, right? It's totally
But you
different.
are not. But you, as the minorities, you have
Rebecca,
the power. You do the work. Why don't you set up the rules?
The moment you mention minorities, all of the Persians go back to the same guy, which is called Khamenei.
But they don't have weapons. They don't matter.
The IRGC does. The military does. Yeah, we get it.
Yeah, but it's been decided that they're gonna go down.
Okay.
They will go down.
Okay.
They will go down.
Since it's decided for them to go down, why nobody is talking to the people who can actually make the work done?
Because we wanted to do it nicely. I did it in my video.
Like the Shah fantastic story about how the people gonna be picked.
Yeah, it was nice. We tried to say we tried to be nice. But if people are not gonna play nice, then it's not gonna be nice.
And I think this is the whole problem. There has never been a regime change that was a nice way done.
Well, listen.
It's nice
honestly,
in stories.
Well,
it's nice.
It's true. It's true. And if it's true, but the decision was made, and Jews are obsessive people. I don't know if you noticed. Mm-hmm. When the Munich thing happened in Germany, every person that was responsible was hunted. Every person responsible of October 7th is being personally hunted and assassinated. They all are gonna get assassinated, no matter how long it would take. Good. And I can tell you that Israelis, the words in the street, people had made up their mind. And when you understand that Jews, like that Israelis reach that point, Israelis are obsessive. They will make it happen.
Well, that's a good thing. But they will. So this is the thing. They're not gonna be a regime change in a beautiful way. We all know that, and we all know why.
Yes, yeah. But we gave a chance, fair and square.
This is the problem. Changing a regime by people. Today I'm gonna stop. So this is the guy from regime. Today I'm gonna stop doing my evil stuff. I'm just gonna become a normal human. It's not gonna happen like that. And when Shah talks about defecting,
but KG, do you agree with me that in theory you should? Wait. You're a bit crackly. Can you check the connections? Oh, no. Yeah, come back. Yeah, I'm going to text. Come back. I mean, I think she's in Becca. She has a bad reception, so. Oh, no receipt. Oh, here she's back. Yay, you're back.
My reception is so bad.
No worries. Now it's good. And it was awesome until like the last few seconds where I was there and you're like, wait, you're crackling.
I know.
Okay.
The problem here, by the way, I speak like this when I'm passionate. I'm not angry, so people
No,
understand.
I know we are in the Middle East.
We're
Believe
in Middle
me,
East.
I had to explain that so many times before. Oh, can I tell a funny story just for like a little bit of
Yeah, the audience, go
fun?
ahead.
Okay, so we had I was in the South America and we had a group in Peru. We went to the Amazonas and we were all Israelis and it's boring. There is no reception and we talk. So we had like a discussion, like we had a discussion over the table. And at some point, like one of the other groups came to our guide and he was like, is everything okay with that group? Why are they like so angry with each other? Why are they at each other's throats? And he was like, no, listen, I'm used to it. I don't speak Hebrew. um and but like from my experience, they're just passionate and they're probably just passionately arguing about something in the Torah or the Talmud. And then we looked at him, was like, wow, how do you know? I was like, you are not the first Israeli group that got bored, started talking about things in the Talmud and the Torah and arguing like and having like this passionate discussion, and people around thought that we were about to kill each other while we were having this very like every person like brought up the different parts of the Bible and the Talmud that they have memorized, and then each had used it like lawyers, like to prove their point on how something should be done. So
Yes.
it was very passionate. It was like, and then I was like, why do you think we're arguing? We're just talking like about Bible,
When Middle
What's
Eastern
wrong with
argue about stuff, it
yeah.
always sounds like
with
crazy.
just with Middle Eastern passion. What's wrong with that?
Yeah. Deal with us.
Yes.
Okay. So I have not prepared for all of my talking points or like even anything, but I have written it down before previously and how to make this happen, a regime change, and how you can bring people together and how people can be coming together in what way. I need to go through my notes when I'm actually in a good reception area next time, or another day or
Let's do that
another week. I
again
don't know.
then. No, I
Yeah,
want to
let's
hear
just
your layout.
yeah, I want to talk about specifics more, but
Yeah.
I'm not gonna go into details because I know a lot of people who want to listen to us are gonna sabotage it. But I do hope for a coalition with all of the
Mm-hmm.
minorities, including Persians are also minority when it comes to the country. So
Listen. Honestly speaking, KG,
yes,
sometimes, right, when people are being very principled, you tell them, we have the weapons. You are just pretty. Something like that.
maybe I should say that more often actually,
No,
because
because
yeah.
like honestly speaking, when something needs to be done, you set the rules. That's it. And then after that, you can argue as much as you want. You open a parliament. That's what a parliament is for.
Exactly. For people to disagree
Yes, but this is
and come
after
to a
you
solution.
have a parliament. First, have a parliament to talk
I know.
properly with mediators.
Unfortunately.
With people that
If
they
it,
all
if
every
I
all the
was the
sides
leader, you
trust.
know what I would do?
Mm.
I would put them in 1 month into one room, all of these ethnicity, one room, all of their leaders. For 1 month, I will not let them get out, only talk to each other for 1 month and then get them out.
But this is only after you win. I have to tell the truth. This is only after you win. And until then, those who have the most weapons set up the tone. That's it. Like the regime, the Hapur Nafal. It's Hapur. Pur is like Purim. Purim. So Pur is
I will one day tell
this.
you. I will one day tell you how my grandparents were mastermind behind some of the biggest revolutions and how they put it, how they made it done. And if you hear these stories, you're gonna be like, wow, how did they do that? It's miracles, but they could do it because they had the will. And people who have the will, they will do it. The people who do not have the will, they will always miss opportunities after opportunities, unfortunately.
Yeah,
And
exactly. So this is
I
where
wish
Iranians
I
are right
had a
now.
wand. I had a wand. I told all of my people, rise up right now, please save your lives. But yeah.
No, honestly speaking, I like the other way around. That, you know, listen, the way you, first of all, like the way Iran is going, it's gonna go down to shit. The water systems are breaking down, and you have 2 years until the agriculture is collapsed.
Yes, and also don't forget, I made a song about it. It's called Make Iran Go Away." MIGA, MIGA.
That would not help, KG. That's not the goal here.
We're gonna call it the New Iran, just like New York.
No, make Iran great again.
Ah, no, no,
It's
thank you.
okay,
No,
whatever.
thank
No,
you. That them.
no, 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 no. You have to, first of all, rule number one, you have to suck up to the Americans. Yes, you are the greatest. You are the most amazing. You're the most beautiful. Like this, whatever they say. Yes, yes. And then when they hit, you know, because this is what the Americans do, right? This is what's going to happen now. I was like, I want a ceasefire. And then you're just looking at the Americans, how they hit their foreheads in a wall. But that's the thing. You cannot just come to the Americans and tell them you're going to hit a wall. Like you're like really like you're, it looks funny every time that you do like this and you, it's funny, it's hilarious, the whole world is laughing. But even if you try to explain it to Americans, they don't get it. So like, oh my God, yes, let's try this. Let's try going through the wall. 100%. Let's go through the wall. And then they're like, there is a wall here. No, this is not the way. This is not the way. Let's try that way. And you're like, yes, yes, that was not the way. Wow, surprise. That's it. I'm like, yes, yes, you're so smart. I mean, I'm so surprised there is a wall there. Oh my God, I didn't see the wall. I am so happy that you're the one leading. Otherwise, how would we have managed the wall in front of us?
You know,
This
what
is
I
how it,
wish.
you need to know this. You come on, you studied politics. You need to know how to talk to every people, okay?
I know how to talk to Americans, and sometimes I don't listen to them for a reason.
Yes, but this is what you have to go through, okay? And you have the weapons as the like
No,
as the
the reason
minorities.
I love
This is
Americans,
this, yeah. You're
the
just
reason
like,
I
yes,
love
America,
Americans,
yes, we love Persians. Oh my God, we love them so much. Oh my God, yes, we love Persians. Oh my God. Yes, all we want is to have like a, like, you know, like our own like federation and stuff, so that it's not because that we don't love Persians. We love Persians. Persians are amazing, and Iranians are like so good, and the Shah was sweetheart. It's just that because like we think that one of the reasons Iran had turned to be the way it was is because it was so concentrated, and when the power is so concentrated, it's so easy to just move it from one mafia to another mafia. So we believe that because it was just giant mafia, I mean, sorry, of course, the Shah was a good mafia, but you know, it's a concept. And like, just, you know, we believe that maybe having a federation is like a
yeah,
very
a
good
king.
way to not
There's
have one, like, you know, concentrated power. And that would mean that there are more chances that this kind of government would be healthy for longer. Yes, yes, but I mean, we love the idea of having all the power concentrated in the hands of the Persians. Like, this is a beautiful idea, like the greatest idea, most amazing idea ever. Just technically speaking, right? It's more risky because I don't know. Maybe I don't know. Just throw something under the bucket, and I don't know. Like the Baha'is are crazy, and if they take power, they're gonna take over all the. If it's concentrated, it's gonna be so easy for them to take over everything again.
yeah.
But we love the
I haven't seen
Persians.
anything.
Love them.
I haven't ever seen anything bad from Baha'i. Like I have lived in the region for so long.
Yeah, this is why I threw them under the bus. I was like, you know what? This is like the one minority that everybody would know that you are saying shit, like you don't mean it. So I was like, okay,
Yeah,
the Baha'is.
yeah, the Baha'is
Because
are big.
otherwise, if you say it's gonna be any other group, they're gonna be like, is this minority dangerous? Well, if you say Baha'i, it's gonna be clearly an ally.
They're gonna make you to say Baha'a.
Oh, here, Shana, thank you for support. Look, listen. This is from the great Winston Churchill. You can always count on Americans to do the right thing after they have tried everything else. Attributed to Winston Churchill. This is truth. Yes. You have, like, I'm sorry, like, and I know, like, I know what Kurds are being made fun of in the Middle East. I know what Georgians make fun of the Kurds for. Okay? If you guys gonna be straight, like a ruler, like, like, so, like, honest, you're not gonna get anything.
So,
literally, you have the weapons. You make the rules. You just have to, manipulate things.
just like the Stockholm syndrome back in the days of a lot of
Yes,
like.
I realized that this is what you have. It's
No, I
like
don't have.
you are the beaten down woman, but you literally are the only one that are holding a pistol, which is crazy.
Yeah, I know. It's very crazy.
Yeah.
So
It's like,
a lot of
you hold the pistol, you make the rules. Stop, mate, like expecting other people.
yes, true. But we also know the consequences and the things that are at stake for Kurds is bigger than the other community. Give me a second.
Yeah, no worries. Okay, let's see. So some people are Rebecca is like a Russian interrogation officer. Oh, I actually used to have an ex-boyfriend that said, like, in a different world, you could have been a real good mafia head. Like, like, help me, help you kind of talk.
I actually like.
And by the way, notice that we do it online and it's completely honest and open. Because you know what? Let's be honest. Let's be honest. And it's funny because even though we're being super honest, and if you're gonna go and apply that, it's still gonna work. So,
yeah, exactly.
people believe what they want to believe. If they want to believe that you love Persians and everything like that, then this is what they're gonna believe, and this is what they want to believe. Believe me, this is what they want to believe. So.
Listen, I always tell them, and I've told them previously, like a lot of different groups who were not even monarchists, told them if you're gonna keep talking about thousands of years ago, you're never gonna progress in 2025 because unfortunately today in 2025 we have a mullah regime that were invented in 1400 years ago. You need to understand how to get them like out of that bubble. Like you have to make the people who are under them to understand that you're not a bad person, but these people are. And unless you cannot
Can I give a bit of advice here?
Mm-hmm.
You say, I hold the pistol. I'm the only hope you have, and you already pissed off the Israelis, and I can promise you that when they decide something, it's gonna happen. So if you cooperate with us, it's gonna happen nicely. But if you don't, I promise you, it's gonna be not the way you want it to be. That's it.
I never do that because
This is the mistake. You should do that. Have you seen the conversation Mossad had with like the IRGC agents? It's like, we're here. We're gonna blow you up if you don't gonna do what we say. Is that what you want? Is that what you want? This is how you talk to people when things need to be done.
I agree with you. as much as I agree with you, I don't know all other people who are actually, listening or whatever, gonna agree with our
They don't
way. And
need to agree. They don't need to agree. They don't need to agree.
yeah,
Doesn't matter what they think. It's a mistake. You know who people agree with? You've seen the like, like how many Americans support Trump decision to strike Iran?
vast majority of them.
Right, so like let's say like 70%, because this is something that was said a million times. How many studied something that should be done once they said they're gonna do it? 100%, like 99.9% said yes, actually yes, except for like those who their career depends on the fact that they went against them.
They should always be opposite sides. Yeah.
Yeah. So you understand that once people make a statement, make something a fact, suddenly everybody agrees. Before that, they would have stupid opinions. After that, suddenly they were like, yeah, we always work. Like, listen, and they also you would be surprised, people have amnesia. They're like, what do you mean? I was always supportive of that move. It's great. No. This is why there is leadership. In leadership, you don't ask questions. It's like, you trust me? You trust me. That's it. And honestly, like if you are the one with the pistol and the other guy is like a monster, like what other option and you know already that monster is not going to offend you, because there is a bigger monster waiting to smash that monster's head into the concrete in the most brutal way. And the longer you wait with taking action, the more cruel I promise, I like I say it super honestly, the crueler it's going to get.
we need people to be heard from various communities and to be
No, you don't have time for that. You may do action and then you talk. First do, then listen. This is how Israel, do you know the Jews got, you know why the Jews got the Torah?
I know.
Because they said we'll do and then we'll listen. Not first we're gonna listen and then we'll do. First you do and then you listen. First you do and then you talk. Honestly speaking, I give you like the very honest, like this is how it's supposed to go.
I agree. And I think...
and you see how I'm not letting you argue with me right now? It's like, you have no choice, sweetheart. And that's it. You literally have no choice. There is no argument when you have no choice. I see where Kurdistan is going. You're going to get suffocated. Your dams are being emptied by both sides.
I know.
You know where it's going? You know what a disaster that would mean? Do you know what happened in Syria?
I know.
Do you want to fight on every little stream like it's your life depends on it?
Yep.
Like every every facet with a little bit of trickling water. Do you know how many people died for in Syria? Every like the most ridiculous, like somebody came and spat on the ground. It's like, for this water.
Yeah, I know.
Is that where you want to go to? This is where you're going to. This is where Iran is going to.
You don't have to convince me.
I mean, no, but you try to argue with me. You think you have time to talk? You say, listen, it's death, or you move now. No talking. Those who hold the guns agree. You said the minorities agree, right?
They hold the guns, but their guns are being withheld.
By themselves.
No.
By whom?
Listen, when the first strike hit, this is what I was told.
Mm-hmm.
We can do it, but we don't have guarantees, and they are giving us no choice but to die for a people who are gonna come in and they're gonna slaughter us anyway. So, for example,
no, this is why you have a ceasefire now. Now, You don't need
No, 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 no,
anybody's.
no.
No. Now you do
Initially,
whatever you want.
people were so excited, and then Trump would tweet, "We're gonna do a deal Sunday." What?
Okay. So this is why we have this conversation. Okay. This is not something that can come from the outside, because if you are half-assed about it,
This
right?
is exactly what people were scared of, a ceasefire. So, for example, people were
No,
like,
no, no,
"If you
no.
do this," but this
But there is no
happening right now in
ceasefire.
front of us,
No,
Rebecca. They're not taking
but
us.
when there
They're not.
wasn't a ceasefire, people said, how can we fight when there are strikes from the air?
No.
So here's a ceasefire.
No. None of
Can you
my.
fight when there are strikes in the air, or can you not?
And so yeah, yes, people can fight only with coordination. These type of things do not happen without coordination. You cannot have a force on the ground when there is no coordination between the air and the ground. This is the whole problem that we have until today. There was
Right.
no.
Okay.
There was no coordination.
But can I explain something? Because this is important. It cannot be, there couldn't be an impression that Israel is actively moving forces on the ground to topple the regime. Because this is clearly...
That was your idea, not my idea. My idea is
no. I'm saying you need to do it without us. And the wrong thing is to tell us to think that it matters what we say, because what you're gonna get when you talk to the IDF or whatever, they're gonna tell no, but actually what they mean is yes.
I get it. I know what you're saying. I have.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I have 6% my phone.
Oh, yes. Okay, now complain. You wanted to give your thing, but I was like, now I said everything that needs to be said. It's online. You can send it to your friends all over. You can also come and hunt me down and said, who is this person who literally filmed herself with her full name, giving directions and explaining all those things. 100% on me,
Ooh, what's going on? People are complaining?
No, nobody's complaining.
People should not complain about war topics, because war topics are a little bit more intense than people can say out loud. Sometimes people think it's just like, oh, it's wartime, but people do not have fear. People always have fears. People are humans. When people die for no freedom, and then they get crushed and their soul gets crushed, they feel it. So we should know that, and that's why I'm being, a little bit careful of saying a lot of things. I can say a lot, but I don't.
So you can also know that in Israel, it is now 100% agreed upon opinion that the regime has to go. And I say it not as a government, I say it as people. People are texting each other and saying, we feel like the job is not done. We feel like we are not even happy with our achievements, because it feels like we're lying to ourselves, because we're not there yet.
Yeah.
Well, and you need to take advantage of the fact that this is how people feel here, before they will think that, maybe, no matter how much we're gonna do for Iranians, maybe this is something they just don't want to.
Oh, do we stop
using that is the impression that, Rebecca, I'm saying,
stop using
no,
that
it's not gonna happen now. It's gonna happen in a long time.
Rebecca, stop using Iranian as a narrative. People will not listen.
You know what I mean.
Yeah, okay. We're talking about
when
Kurds,
I say
Arabs, Persians, and
Turks. Yes.
We're not talking about Iranians. When someone says that, oh, a bunch of Iranians were killed in Kermanshah, these are Kurds. These are not.
No. Yeah. I say Iranians because I mean everybody.
And you should not use that. Maybe be specific.
No, you don't like this word. So what word?
No,
How do
like
I say Baluchis,
people,
Ahwazis?
people who are inside of that country that is called Iran.
Yeah, that's a lot
And
of words.
well, calling them Iranians is the whole problem. People did not understand the component that was the weakness of your regime from the get-go because they did not identify the bodies and the execution where they were happening. Vast majority of the execution happened in the Kurdish regions, Ahwaz region, Baluch region,
No, no,
and then
people.
minority. No, no, people did not know. You know why people did not know? Because they were simply called Iranians, and people just put it some
What
candle.
wasn't Amina Kurdish?
What? Gina
Person.
Amini was Kurdish, yes.
Yeah, everybody in Israel knew she was Kurdish.
No,
Everybody
so
knew it was the Kurds that are
yeah,
rising.
but listen. So when the Kurdish people went to the streets, they went for their freedom. You're
Right.
talking about two different mentalities. The Persians' mentality is totally different from the Kurdish one, and Kurdish and Arabs and
Yeah,
the
but we
Baluch.
don't care about the Persians now
It's
anymore.
not about that. It's not about that.
Mhm.
When people hijack movement like that, people's soul were crushed. I said this before. People should not call Xinjiang Azadi Iranian movement because it's simply not a
It's
Iranian movement.
Kurdish.
Yes, but there's a reason that it's problematic when people call the Iranians. People go home. People are like, we did all of this. We died for our daughters and our sons and our
Well,
fathers.
this is where you stand up and say, we are the leaders. We make the rules.
I've said that. And I was
I'm
canceled for
serious.
that.
So you say it again and again until it works.
I have never
Because you
stopped
have
saying
no
it.
choice. You want to fight on a
It's not
fast. You
about
want
me
to fight
having no
on.
choice. I always
It's
tell
all of
people
you.
when they ask me question, I tell them, have you asked the same type of questions to the people who are claiming this movement? Nobody
Yeah,
does.
I asked him. I did.
And he didn't have the answers.
Of course, they admitted it. They said it was hijacked.
Xinjiang Azadi was hijacked by
I
an
heard a
Arab.
Persian say that. Persian
Yeah.
person told me that.
The Xinjiang Azadi was not about hijab and it was not about short
Yes,
skirt.
yes, I know.
Yeah.
A
It
Persian
was
person told me everything that you say. I tell you that are Persians who know everything. And they tell me the same thing. They told me 100% what you're saying. That's how I knew. It's like, okay, I trust you. I trust him. I trust you.
yeah. It was hijacked, unfortunately,
Yes.
and people's soul were crushed.
Yes.
Yeah, unfortunately.
But unfortunately, like I said before, when it comes to talking to Americans, you're like, yes, amazing. Yes, yes. Believe me. Believe me. It's very tiring.
Americans are more easygoing for a lot of things, and not easygoing for a lot of things. When you explain to them the dynamics and how things can work, they understand. But when you tell them that we're just gonna install a guy and they're gonna be a like protest, they know it's a bullshit. So yeah, they're
Well,
pragmatic people.
I don't know what they know.
We've worked with
I
the
just,
Americans previously, and I will tell you, when you explain to them pragmatic solutions, they understand. But when you don't tell them the full story, only one part, they get nuts. Like they go
yeah,
crazy.
it's true.
Yeah.
They go crazy, but even if you tell them everything and it's not what they want to hear, then they go crazy anyway.
Yes, but after give them 1 hour and two, they're gonna come to the table again and listen.
True. That's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
I've worked with them a lot of times, and I will tell you the biggest.
Yeah, it's true.
The biggest problem is that it's only temporary. Like even when they get angry, it's temporary, and then when they understand what you said, they're like very, very helpful.
Yeah. There was a wall here. Yes.
Yeah, exactly. But it might take time. But once that the thing hit the fan, they understand.
Yeah. So,
I have
Rebecca, what
2%.
about? Yeah, I was somebody asking Rebecca what about taking questions from the lovely chat. Well, next time, let's do that again if you're cool with that.
I want to do this again when I have a better reception.
Yeah, and also
Better.
actually, I'm not sure if
Yeah.
I need you for that, but I want to go through everything that the Iranian regime is doing, like all the crackdowns and stuff like that, like going through data.
They have captured a lot of Kurds in Kermanshah and Sanandaj
Yeah.
today.
Yes.
They're accused of being Mossad agents and whatever. And we knew this is gonna happen. And
this is why we need to bring them down.
Listen, nobody's blaming Israel for anything.
I didn't say that.
No.
I didn't think somebody blamed us.
No, there were a lot of accounts speaking for Iranian people, which are all Persians. These people do not speak for us. They do not speak for our suffering, and they do not speak for our same thing. They suffer from money and gas and water, whatever. We suffer for death and life. So totally two different things. So just
don't worry, they don't have enough water in Tehran as well right now, so it's gonna be death and life for them pretty soon too. I don't even know if they can manage the summer, honestly speaking.
Yeah, give it 1 week and they're all gonna be.
I don't know, because like July and August, I don't know if they're gonna manage July and August.
They all.
And I was like, do you want to be like? And also Kurdistan also is involved. Like, let's be honest. Like, you have dams from both sides, so you want to have some control on that.
We have like some dams that we built, and we listen. We're not Iranians, and we're not Iraqis, and we're not Turks, and we're not Syrians. So we do actually accept the help of Israelis all the time with the water, but unfortunately, not everybody is smart as us.
Yeah, well, you should advertise them. Look, you see, like drinking water then they're gonna have another round of like they don't have water running all the time now.
Like Israel offered the same solution to Iraq, and the same solution were offered to Iraq, and they were like, "No, we're not gonna take from the Zionists." Really? You want to die for Zionism? Okay, sure, go ahead. Be a shaheed.
Yeah, and then you know what's gonna happen? They're all gonna be refugees, run to Europe, and those Nazis in Europe are gonna blame us.
No, we have a problem here. We're scared that they're gonna come to Kurdistan, all of them.
Yeah, but they're also gonna run to Europe, and the Nazis in Europe will be like, the Jews brought them here, the Jews. No, we tried to fix the fucking water. We tried, okay?
Yeah, I read your project a little bit. It was really nicely put. Yeah, good job. I need to go. It's 1%. It's gonna die. My phone is about to die. Like literally.
I'm gonna say bye to everybody else. So good night, everybody.
Have a good night.